What up, film fans? How is everybody doing? I hope you're all well. I'm trying something new today, a new format, new layout. Sitting on my sofa with all my comfy pillows, and I'm gonna do I guess it's a reaction video. Kind of feel a bit cheesy calling it that, not to discredit people that do reaction videos, but I haven't seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever yet, and not to sort of discredit Marvel, but I think a lot of us are getting a little bit fatigued with all the Marvel stuff. However, having said that, I did want to see this in the cinema, and for just life getting in the way and happening and stuff, I wasn't able to. So I haven't seen it yet. It's on Disney Plus now. I haven't heard anything about it either. I've managed to avoid all spoilers for it. I haven't heard anything. I haven't even heard if it's good. So let's give it a watch. I'll try and do a little bit of analysis as we go, and hopefully have some genuine reactions for you. And yeah, let's do it. This is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Has a minimal chance of
Just getting straight in there with the obviously same as pretty much everybody must have been curious about how they're gonna deal with poor old I was gonna say T'Challa, but that's obviously the character's name, Chadwick Boseman, the late great Chadwick Boseman. I was wondering how they were gonna deal with his unfortunate passing. Straight in there, straight off the bat, and already I'm starting to feel the feels. Also a very nice oneer so far.
Your brother is with the ancestors.
Got goosebumps, man. That's kind of nice. So, at first, I mean, I was definitely getting emotional, definitely feeling the feels there. It was a very well acted performance there by Letitia Wright. Really nice sort of oneer that was finally broken when, was that her mum and T'Challa's mum came in? I can't quite remember who her character is. So I don't know if it's the sadness of it being Chadwick Boseman that makes that scene sadder, or if that scene is sad just through the expert filmmaking of the team behind Black Panther. But either way, I was feeling stuff, so there it is. But then it's nice to sort of cut to like a celebration of life. We've got all these extras here dancing in these really cool, pure white like robes and garments and dresses and stuff. Yeah, I think that's being like sort of a white British person. That's something that we don't do very well with funerals. It's like it's all very solemn and glum, and I like seeing I don't know if it's just from what I've seen in film, so I might be completely like just making ignorant statements, but if you see like maybe a Gaelic sort of funeral or something, there is always an important part of just sort of celebrating the life in a merry way. It's something that we don't really do in like white British sort of funeral. So this was nice to cut to, instead of the opening sort of sequence just being full on sad and heavy. It's nice to cut to this. That was a great shot. Say what you will about it maybe being CGI or whatever, but the two pillars, the stuff coming over the top, the sunset, nice looking shot. Just quickly as well, the set design, the mise en scène, the props design and everything is already fantastic. Like, did you see the design on that coffin that they had there? Real nice design. And this is a really nice tender moment, so I'm not going to talk over it, but the music's dropped, getting some close-ups. For anyone who might be new to my podcasts and maybe haven't seen or listened to them before, I'm a full-on crybaby, so I'm okay with that. Like, I'm, you might have seen me welling up just then. It's gonna happen. It happens. Dude, I'll watch Star Wars and cry. Like, I don't care, man. I'm an actor. I'm supposed to be in touch with my emotions. So, you know. So, I am eating snacks. It's a 3-hour movie. And I was hungry. So, I bought snacks with me. But I'll try not to eat and talk like I'm doing now. But, without getting too political, I find this quite an interesting story beat. I don't know how it's going to play out. Like I said, I haven't seen this yet, but I find that quite an interesting story beat. That the first thing that happens, obviously, after the funeral of T'Challa is it cuts to like some sort of UN summon. I think it was summoned, something like that, and they're saying, why isn't Wakanda sharing the vibranium resource? And you know, you've got these what would otherwise be sort of powerful nations, France, etc., sort of wanting in on that resource. And then again, without getting too political, does the West, as in England and America, Britain and America, are we known for sharing our resources? I don't know that we are. Do we maybe just go around the world like taking resources? I think probably do. Do we export a lot? I don't know. Maybe someone can correct me on that. I don't mean to ruffle any feathers or anything, but so it's quite from my perspective now, it's quite an interesting story beat to sort of have the shoe be on the other foot, you know? That countries like England and America maybe aren't the better resourced or the most powerful in the MCU right now. Don't know, just thought maybe that was worth bringing up, because it with film and film analysis, you know, it's all well and good saying this is a nice shot, this is a nice performance or anything, but what's the theme, what's the undercurrent? Like, I've used the example before, so I'll wrap it up quickly now. George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. The undercurrent theme is well, it's greed, but there's a better word for it, and that word is consumerism, because you have all the zombies, you know, mindlessly going around the shopping mall in America, sort of reminiscent of just mindless consumerism and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, you get the point. On with the show. Is she super? I know what they're called. Ah, what a shot to stop it on. Stab. I know that I can't remember the name of their group, their like Royal Protector Force. I can't remember the name of them, but I don't remember them ever being superhuman or eating that flower thing that gives the Black Panther their powers. But I'm pretty sure she just deflected bullets with her spear. It's fucking Marvel. How could I complain that they're bending reality? But even that seems like a push. I love a good conversation mid-fight.
It will not change under my watch.
Just shows how proficient they are. They can just chat while they're kicking ass.
As for the identity of the attackers,
I have their heads on our plate.
further attempts on our
She's jacked. I wish I had fucking shoulders like that. Fair play to her. Jesus Christ.
resources.
Atlantic Ocean. In the Atlantic, there was an ocean. For a second, I thought that was Agatha, whatever her name is, from WandaVision. Jesus, why did it take me so long to remember that?
All my life support is in the green.
Fuck that for a job, man.
Copy in.
Just plonking down in a big old fucking spacesuit. No,
We've touched down.
I ain't doing that for shit. One little leak, one little pipe burst, one little pressure malfunction. You turn into soup in a big Tin Man suit. No.
Yeah, it's astonishing.
I've never seen a drill bit shoot up like this before.
I've never seen a drill bit shoot up like this before. I'm so versed in drills.
Let's go ahead and get the detector out of there since it's the...
I don't even know who the villain is in this film, actually. I know nothing about this film. Is it Aquaman? Did you get eaten by a jellyfish?
Yeah, situation out here.
What is happening? Oh, swimmers. Are these the Wakandans? Wakandan? Is that? Is that the pluralization of people from Wakanda? Wakandonians? I like this banshee shit that's happening though. Are they all falling into a trance? They are. It literally is banshees, man. Is it banshees? Or mermaids? Where they like sing and lure sailors to their deaths. This dude just watching all his crew fucking pencil dive into the water. She just knew. Better have my protective earplugs with me in case people start chanting at me in the water.
You need to send in...
Oh, that ain't a Wakandan. Oh! Wow. Ha! She's just like, eat shit! Bam, 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 bam. Is she gonna throw that harpoons thing right at your helicopter, man? I like your hat, though. I don't know anything about these villains. Pause it right there. We're sort of getting into the realms of the MCU, I think, now, where I don't know tons about it. Like, the Infinity War stuff with the Infinity Stones and all that. I was a little bit more familiar with it because I remember watching the Fox Kids cartoons and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they had like similar sort of plot points to that. This underwater malarkey I don't know a lot about, so I don't know who those villains are. I don't know what they're doing. That was kind of interesting. Is it a bit Avatar Way of the Water? Who knows? Which is a banging film. There's a really nice shot, even if it is CGI. Very pleasing colour palette. I don't know if it's just because of the lighting setup I have here, but I can't see fucking shit. Right. I was experimenting with my lighting setup then to see if it is anything I'm doing, which makes me not able to see what's happening on screen. But it's not. I can't fucking see, like, this scene. I can't see this fucking scene. And I get really annoyed with that in films. Like, don't film a scene with, like, great actors and great costume and great camera angles and everything and then make it so fucking dark we can't fucking see what's happening. You know? Because even if it's meant to be a horror scene, and the whole idea is, like, fear of the dark, fear of what's lurking in the dark or anything, you still need to fucking be able to see something. Otherwise, what are you afraid of? There's a whole lot of nothing happening. And it's completely distracted me from anything that this scene was doing. Like, this is, I guess, the villain, but fuck knows what he looks like, because all I can see is those necklaces he's wearing. That's all I have to say about that. It's annoyed me, clearly.
See the wings on his ankles?
No, I didn't see the wings on his ankles, because I can't fucking see this scene. Up the brightness. Jesus. I can see now. Some fucking lights. I love that actor, by the way. He's great in Us, the Jordan Peele movie. Underrated movie. No negotiation with the fish, man. Just,
As you were.
we should kill him.
Is it just me
I'm
or
leaving so I can see my favorite colonizer.
I really hope we're about to see Martin Freeman, because she called Letitia Wright's character Shiri. She called Martin Freeman a colonizer in the first one. If you remember, you probably do. Have you guys seen that meme? I love it. I'll see if I can remember, and I'll edit it into the video. But it's Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman, and because they were both in like Lord of the Rings projects, The Hobbit, and that. The meme is that they're the Tolkien white guys for the Black Panther franchise. Great meme. Anyway, on with the show. Yeah, Martin Freeman! Who doesn't love Martin Freeman, man? He's class in everything he does. One of the things I really enjoy about the Black Panther films is like they have that whole like sort of James Bond secret agent kind of theme going on. Like a lot of the MCU movies will adopt like a particular kind of theme. Like what's it called? The second Captain America one, Winter Soldier, is like a kind of espionage war kind of movie. And obviously Black Panther 1, it's very James Bond. You know, they do that casino infiltration thing before Andy Serkis shows up and they start fighting and all that. And like, look at these two here with that amazing purple tracksuit Letitia's wearing, doing some like secret agent shit. Like it's a really cool like way to go with this sort of franchise. I got itchy knuckles. They say itchy palms is right to receive money, left to leave money, or like lose money. What happens when you get itchy left knuckles?
Yo. Oh shit, am I getting recruited? No. How old are you? 19. Brilliant at a young age.
You look 14.
Accepted by the elders. Right here. I'm gonna go to that.
No one's dorm has windows as cool as that or as big as that. What? Okay, humor is one of the hardest things to do in film. And some of the humor there worked, some of it was a little bit clunky. But overall, I like that scene. And I'm gonna be harsh. I spend so many of these podcasts like talking about how much I like for film, how much I like for films, how much I like for speak. So yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. And if I see something that doesn't really work or whatever, I'm gonna call it out because fuck it, might as well. Plus, the last few like, especially the Star Wars stuff that I've posted, like my Last Jedi in defense of, the amount of fucking shit I've been getting from Star Wars fans. Hey, I'm allowed to dish out some shit myself, so fuck it. The soundtrack to this film is pretty banging, to be fair. Like this, just you know, like suspense building music is still within the theme of Wakanda. I'm gonna say it is Marvel with their like just all these fucking genius like teenagers or adults, like so many geniuses in the MCU, right? Or just in Marvel in general. Peter Parker, Iron Man / what's the fuck's his name? Tony Stark, Shuri, this fucking kid, Bruce Banner. That's 5 straight off the top of my head. Why are there so many? Like, maybe that's part of the fatigue. There's just like the same fucking character reoccurring in different fucking forms. Anyway. Oh, I can't see shit again. You can fly, so who gives a fuck? Bridges. Hold your breath. Yeah, don't worry about the civilians that drone might land on. Just killed bear police. That's a great shot. That's been the best moment of this chase sequence so far. Water bomb. What? They ride killer whales? And just full on like sperm whales. Question, I don't know shit about these people. Are these the Marvel equivalent of like Aquaman's lot, but villainous? They gotta be, aren't they? I like that they're just chilling with sea creatures. Killer whales and shit. Orcas.
Hey, she blue?
I love a fight scene without music. You can hear every blow, every scream. And it always makes you feel like someone's about to die. Ha! Did he bounce that off his belly? Martin! Looks a good nick, doesn't he?
Maybe I'll drop by sometime and jump on your Peloton.
Howdy.
Bit forward.
Oh, good for you.
If that was
You
a
wanna walk
bloke,
me through the evidence here or
she'd
what?
be getting me too'd. No one else saw that yet.
Hey Ross, you got a full tank of gas?
All them cones out on the broken glass. No one saw the fucking shiny metallic vibranium fucking bracelet.
Actually, wouldn't mind.
Have I not given everything?
That was a monologue and a half, wasn't it? Let me just make sure Angela Bassett, yeah. I just wanted to get her name right. I'm pretty sure it was that. What a fucking... Wow. Wow. Like, okay. I went through a little bit of a section just then where I sort of insulted this movie quite a lot. I am enjoying it. And I will say that, like, there's stuff like... Wait, did she get an Academy Award nomination for this? Is that going to completely derail my entire fucking point that I was about to make? Because I was about to say that, like, with these superhero movies, you don't... There's a few exceptions to the rule. Heath Ledger's Joker, and... Oh my god, I love this actor. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which, you know, it's... People might question whether that counts as a superhero movie, but it's definitely a comic book movie. But with these superhero movies, there's a lot of... Yeah, best performance by an actress in a supporting role. She got an Oscar nomination, and rightly so. Yeah, often there's like... They tend to only get nominations for like the practical effects or the CGI or sometimes the soundtracks, whatever. But when it comes to like the actual performances, they can quite often be overlooked. And I'm not sure why, because when you're dealing with things so far beyond the real... Like, I always thought Robert Downey Jr. probably deserved one. I know there was a massive like internet sort of Twitter hashtag campaign for him to get one. But I always thought he kind of deserved at least a nomination for the work he did as Tony Stark, because like when you're dealing with these like really, really huge scale, huge stakes kind of scenarios, you know, like for example, the whole Thanos story arc, fucking half the universe being wiped out. That's the stakes. That's what's at play, is you could potentially lose half of all things. So to deal with the gravitas of that as an actor, where that's such a high, it's like trying to, you know, imagine a million of a thing. Like you can imagine 100 individual things, but then trying to imagine a million of them, it's almost like too much for your brain to comprehend, and you can't really picture like a million individual things, right? So it's kind of like that. Like if you're doing a scene where it's like two characters and you're talking about maybe the relationship ending and one of the characters doesn't want the relationship to end, that's a lot more human level. You can generate that a lot easier. You've got probably like lived in experience you might be able to draw on. But when you're dealing with like real sort of huge scale things like the Thanos stuff, it's very hard, I would imagine, to bring the required sort of like energy and emotion and believability to the table, to the point where you could almost forgive an actor for not like phoning it in, but maybe not sort of biting into that as much as they should. But the great actors will always find the sort of smallest minutiae and the smallest detail to sort of focus on, to make sure that they're not being lost to this grandiose, set of stakes, for example. So yeah, I feel like I've sort of walked myself into a circle or something here, but like, yeah, my point is, a lot of the performances in these superhero comic book movies and all that are sometimes really, really fucking brilliant performances, and Angela Bassett there, literally, she caught me off guard. That was some good shit. And also, look at this lovely symmetrical shot we've stopped on. So, by the way, people just be stabbing spears into every flaw they find in this film. Like, they must have like a bricklayer or a plasterer or whatever just following them around, like, putting putty and cement and stuff into all these floors that they're just destroying with their fucking spears. Anyway, where's my controller? There it is. I'm going to say this, and I don't want this to sound creepy. It's meant as a compliment. Lupita Nyong'o is not only a phenomenal actress, phenomenal, that speaks for itself, Oscar nominations, blah, 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 the most beautiful person in Hollywood, and it ain't even close. That's all I'm going to say. They got there really quickly from going, fuck, I've still got so much more of this film to watch. This is a long film, dudes. They got there really quickly from being like, I have to kill the scientist. Oh, wait, let her come live with me in Wakanda. Oh, I don't know about that. And then, let me see your village. Okay, let's go. It just happened very fast, but maybe they were also aware of the runtime in this film. I don't know, man. I worry that I'm just slagging this off too much. But these underwater scenes, the CGI, maybe it's just because I've recently seen Avatar Way of the Water, and that film is glorious. But this is Marvel Studios, man. You should have the money to make this a little bit better. I don't know. Who's the fucking villain meant to be in this film then, man? Like, if this guy and his crew are meant to be the villains, they kind of just leaned in pretty heavily to like justifying why they're doing what they're doing. It seems like they can all just come to some sort of reasonable agreement. They're exchanging jewelry now? Am I supposed to not like these people? Alright, yeah, he's a bit of a dick again. So, I thought they were... Well, no, they were doing the whole, like... Oh, I've got reasonable motive thing. That was something they did so well in the first Black Panther with Killmonger. They did that so well, of giving you a villain that's so three-dimensional. With so many intricacies and almost in a way quite a noble motive for their dastardly deeds, that you couldn't help but sort of watch the first Black Panther and think like, maybe Killmonger has got something right to say. I mean, even in a way with Thanos as well, like his whole motive for doing what he's doing, you are kind of like, well, I kind of see where you're coming from, Purple Man. But it's the execution of their motive that makes them villainous, right? And they were sort of trying to show us the softer side of this character. I don't know this character's name. This mermaid man. And, you sort of say, Yeah, okay, you're defending your people and all that. But you could, by all accounts, it looks like they could just stay down there. It doesn't look like they need to go all-out war with the world yet. And then he's threatening to kill Shuri and XYZ. So yeah, he's back in the dickhead corner. I'm just gonna say, I'm struggling to give a fuck. Maybe it's because I'm tired. I'm struggling to give a fuck about the characters and the stakes and stuff. Maybe they are trying to squeeze a lot in, and which is why the runtime is nearly 3 hours long, and maybe why we're not getting as much sort of stuff fleshed out as we maybe should. But I'm struggling to give a fuck. So I'm going to pause this and go for a piss. Also as well, you got to remember that these are just my opinions. You know, other people may really, really enjoy this film. Some people may hate this film. I haven't decided how I feel about this film yet. I've been quite vocal about the parts of it so far that I haven't enjoyed, like not being able to see anything. Some of the story beats and motives and things at the moment have been a little bit rushed. Probably could have done with being a little bit more fleshed out, but then this is already quite a long runtime for the film. I don't know where it's going to happen, and we're getting into the last hour or so of it now. So, but there are parts I have enjoyed. The individual actor performances have been pretty great. The costume design has been pretty awesome. The set design, bar the occasional bit of dodgy CGI, has been pretty awesome. The soundtrack's been great. It has had some good moments so far. But let's see how it plays out before I decide if I care. Look at me sitting here eating my chocolate, judging filmmakers who are doing shit I can't do.
Thank you.
They will never think of approaching Talokan. Aren't you gonna kill them all? How are they gonna approach stuff when they're dead?
It is good to have you back. The city has been on
Consistency.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I think they're under attack. Oh, Winston Duke's such a dude. I forgot he can fly. So is he like Aquaman crossed with... Who was the ancient Greek guy? Who was the ancient Greek guy that had the fucking winged feet, flew too close to the sun? It's like a cross between him and that guy and Aquaman. I'm tired. I shouldn't have chosen to do this tonight, but we're here now. Just gonna use that to make a new Black Panther flower. Cause she's smart. Okay, so I'll hold my hands up and say I was entirely wrong when he got to the crash scene and he picked up the beads and I was like, no one else noticed those beads. I was wrong. She did, and she bugged them. It's alright. Yeah. I thought I was being smart, but I was being stupid. So seriously, what they call it, they just call it the heart-shaped herb. There's no more like an imaginative name for that. Just come up with something that sounds Latin. I thought there was an actual name for it. But if she's just calling it the heart-shaped herb, heart-shaped box like Nirvana. Also, I feel like all the technology she's got at her disposal, like being able to just throw like holograms of shit up, and all the stuff that Tony Stark had, all those robots helping him build stuff, and all the technology. I feel like I would look like a genius if I had all those utensils at my disposal, you know? Because I'm so ADD, like, I spin all these plates anyway, so if I could, wow, that's the shit happening there, and that's the stuff happening, I'd get stuff done too. I could do science. They ain't that smart.
How old were you when you built your first machine? 3?
You were 3. You're a child prodigy, but you're 3. I was blowing snot bubbles when I was 3. They should just dish that shit out to, like... I know it's their tradition and stuff, but... Lupita Nyong'o can have some. You know, Okoye can have some. more of a chance of winning, right? They've got loads now. They can just print that shit. I don't know what superhero she's meant to be. Is she the new Iron Man? The equivalent of? I don't know. I don't care. Something tells me they'll be okay because they're landing in water and they like water. Okay, that's like the most impressive thing this film's done for a while. Not to say that other stuff it hasn't done hasn't been impressive, but that particularly then upping the stakes of their sonic emitter being destroyed and then seeing these whales with all the troops and that come from the sort of shadowy water with that real sort of unnerving score of that like throat singing stuff. I'm not gonna imitate it, but that was really cool. It was a real sort of like a sort of tension shift, you know. I liked it. That was cool. Good utilization of whales. Fights without music again. Just ups the sort of ferocity of the fight. That's not Shuri. They lied to us.
Why don't you go check it out? Okay.
It's fucking branches, mate. We got to check out. Obviously, Shuri's done it, but as far as he knows, ain't nothing to check out. Why isn't she being queen? I don't get it. I get it now. I would go live with Lupita Nyong'o too.
Everything is ready.
And she's gonna boin the robes. She threw that behind the fire. It wasn't on top of the fire. Can't get me with your tricks. That was a really nice little montagey bit there for Chadwick. That was nice. I won't say too much about it. You can see how nice it was. And we're at the end. Okay. I'm going to skip through in a minute and see if there's post-credit stuff like there always is in Marvel stuff. I apologize if throughout that film I was harsh towards it. There was just some stuff that, you know, you got to call it like it is sometimes. If something's not working in the film, whatever it might be, especially because I know that I have a tendency to just sort of gush with admiration for a lot of the films I analyze and all that. That's because I have good taste. And this is a reaction, and these were my honest reactions, so there we go. But for the most part, that was pretty good, but it was a bit run of the... Okay, so some lovely touching tributes to Chadwick, and some nice sort of like sensitive ways to sort of deal with legacy and the passing of the torch and that kind of stuff. But aside from that, it was a little bit generically formulaic as far as Marvel movies go. Like every now and then, the Marvel will put out a film that just exceeds all that kind of stuff and, you know, really stands itself apart from the rest of the MCU in terms of like genuinely being a fantastic film in and of itself, not just sort of another like cog in the kind of MCU behemoth. Not to discredit those, but like if you look at the quality of like Thor Ragnarok versus Love and Thunder, it's quite obvious which one of those is the better. Or The Winter Soldier is easily one of the best in the entire franchise, and that is an exceptional film. But that would be an if you took all the superhero Marvel stuff out of that and, you know, made it, I don't know, you could potentially even replace some of the characters and stuff with like Jason Bourne, and it would be like a fantastic espionage spy thriller, you know? Yeah, so this one was a little bit flavor of the week, as it were. And I don't know, I swear Marvel used to have like some of the best CGI in the business, you know? But I'm not the only one to say this, that I've seen this a lot online. Like the MCU's CGI, apart from in like the big collaborative ones like the Avengers and that, the sort of later films in the series that they're putting out, CGI is leaving a little bit to be desired, which is strange given the money that Disney has. So yeah, let's see what these these post-credit things got to say for themselves. Sorry Rihanna, we're skipping your song. I'm pretty sure Rihanna sings this. Oh, Ludwig Göransson did this. I'm pretty sure he was the guy behind yeah, Rihanna. There we go. Ludwig, I'm pretty sure he was the guy behind the Mandalorian theme tune, so fair play to him.
And we join you now.
Already fucking have, but I mean, could have seen that coming a mile away, but that was still very nice. Oh. Yeah. It was alright, you know. It was a Marvel movie. Wasn't one of the greatest Marvel movies I've ever seen. Wasn't, sounds rude to compare, but it wasn't as good as the first Black Panther. Yeah, it was alright. It was alright. I'll digest it for a bit maybe, and maybe I'll have something else to say about it. But yeah, there was another Marvel movie. They do make films. Marvel's never gonna hire me for shit. Fuck it. Please do rate, review, subscribe. I'm gonna go to fucking sleep now. Bye.